Michael,
Yes, sir.
I ate so much on Thanksgiving, I proceeded to sleep for 11 hours that night.
Sounds about right.
I was a train wreck, dude. Never ate that much before in my life. Wasn't as fancy as Eric, though, who's in the studio with us, who ate 3 dinners, rubbed it in our faces.
It was great.
No, don't turn on his mic. Is his mic on? Yeah. No, he doesn't deserve to have his mic turned on. 3 dinners? Wow. No, thankful for you guys. That's for sure. That's for sure. And I'm also thankful for our new reviewers on iTunes, which, by the way, people, we finally got fixed. iTunes is fixed. However, some of you have been unsubscribed due to technical errors, so make sure when you go to the iTunes app or on your computer, make sure you're subscribed to us to get all the latest episodes every Friday morning, or basically like Friday at midnight. It'd be like Thursday late night.
Yeah.
Can we pull up the reviewers, Mr. Michael? We had some from Michaela, Mortal Coiled, who did a review on us. Laura Des, thank you. T-Bear, great name. What's that? Susiman 861. What is it? What is it?
Solson.
581. 581. I was close. Seriously, thank you guys so much for reviewing the show. It's much appreciated, and these reviews, they help. They definitely help us, and we're so thankful for you guys, especially during this time of being thankful. We just love you guys. Our guests today are Justin Ware and Sean Cowhig from The Way Highway here on IDOBI Radio, which their show airs right after this one, so make sure you stay on IDOBI Radio to listen to it. Amazing guys, hilarious. They do a weed show, which is not your typical weed show. They're not just smoking or ripping bong rips. Is that the correct term the kids use?
Probably not.
Probably not, but you get what I'm saying. They actually go into a lot of the science and history, and it's a very fun show. I was on it a few weeks ago, so make sure you check out that episode. And also, they do a monthly improv show, which I'll be on this month. And maybe they have a place where they upload the whole video too. I'm not sure. But every month you can check out their Dr. God Revival, and they also have an animated show coming up. So make sure you check that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about it, right, Michael? Did we do all the business we need to do?
I think we did.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's give it up for Justin Ware and Sean Cowhig. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times now. I still dance to it. Sean, Justin, thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
inviting
having
us.
This is a little earlier than usual for you guys to record. Is this true?
It is. We normally record in the evenings.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, Sean's drinking coffee either time. So
Yeah, it's true.
Dude, you were so energetic when I was on your show, The Way Highway.
The Way Highway.
With what was it? It was the coconut oil infused with like
THC. So it was weed coconut oil in coffee. So it was
bulletproof
high
coffee,
and-
but with weed, essentially.
Yeah, I was high caffeinated.
Yeah, which was because, again, I'm not a weed connoisseur, but I would think those two would cancel each other out.
No. What it did was it energized the feeling of being high. Everything was awesome, and I loved being with you guys. I just wish we were like in a field or an amusement park. The thing that was freaky was being in a booth, and I was like, I just gotta get out of here.
You know what's interesting about caffeine? It actually cuts oxygen intake to your brain, which I never knew that. I thought it would do the opposite, if anything, because I'm always super energetic when I'm caffeinated.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're energetic, is because your brain doesn't need you anymore, so your body can just,
Doesn't it seem like so many things we do for like different feelings are like, no, you're poisoning yourself. No, you're cutting off air to your brain. No, you're making your heart stop so
You
that
mean
way
like
you feel
alcohol?
Yeah,
sure.
like any sort of like drug or something is like it messes with your natural biology in order to make you feel.
And
And
yet we'll go for that
Yeah.
short-term enjoyment instead of a long-term betterment.
it is amazing to me how many pleasurable things are like, it kills brain cells, and we're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
and people do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but
Every single sugar-free gum. It's like, all will kill rats in lab experiments. That's all right.
yeah, but you know, I don't want to gain a pound.
I want fresh breath.
Yeah. So are you against animal testing?
I am.
Yeah.
I am in general. I would like to do more. I need to put more money where my mouth is and make sure the things that I'm buying. But I usually try to go for products that are not tested.
Yeah.
Which it's a lot easier to do that stuff now because there's a lot more information on it. You know, I
Right.
think like when we were kids, like you would have no idea how anything came together in any capacity.
Yeah, you were just washing your hair with a dead rat.
Yeah, which was never worked.
No, it's good.
terrible
It's
product.
It's a bad product.
That's a family.
Well, it was northern Wisconsin. It gets a little weird up there.
Are you guys 90s kids?
In-
90s kids, yeah. That sounded weird when I said it.
I guess I'm 81, so like I had
Okay.
9 years of
He's
age.
81 years old.
I'm
actually.
81
He
years
met
old.
right there.
That's
He
what I
looks
got.
great.
Excellent.
Doing good.
It's the vegetarian and once a year turkey diet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's funny, like when you think of the especially the boxed food that like when we were kids before it sort of everyone realized those were just full of like chemicals and sodium and all that kind of stuff.
Sugar. Yeah.
And sugar. You know, my wife was shocked that I had never eaten Hamburger Helper. Because there was a lot of stuff that I just had never tried because my mom was like, "You're not eating that." And then she's like, "You need to try Hamburger Helper. You need to try Hamburger Helper," which, by the way, you don't need to have with hamburger. You can mix it with, like fake meat or anything like that. But and then we ate it. We made it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, no, this is terrible."
What is hamburger helper? Is it like just ground beef?
It's a packet of stuff you put in your ground beef.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, and as they say it's in Vacation, where he's like, your stuff's pretty good by itself.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid in Vacation.
Yeah.
But it kind of like it looks almost like a sloppy Joe mix, but without and then you put the meat in it, and it just creates this sort of. By the way, Hamburger Helper never now going to be a sponsor of this show.
No, sorry guys.
But it is. It just makes like a concoction that you can sort of eat, but it's like chemicals and sodium and all that kind of stuff.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That just put some salt and pepper and turmeric. I don't know.
Yeah,
That sounds a
you
lot
just
easier.
mix spices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just mix spices together and do that.
Yeah,
don't get
but
it,
then
man.
it doesn't last on your shelf for 4 years.
This is what I don't get is when I see something like, for instance, regular potato chips, right? $4.99. Let's just say for the sake of argument.
Okay.
And then it's like, oh, regular potato chips plus sour cream and onion, and it's the same price, but the same extra ingredients. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah, but it's not really. It's just not real ingredients, though. It's just a different.
Yeah, but
chemical
that has to
vat.
cost something to put in there.
I did a. It's funny, we have a segment we do on our show called "Things I Learned While High," where we do deep dives into weird topics. And I did research on one. We haven't done it yet, so I don't want to waste all this great research. But
Oh man.
but I did a bunch of research on chemical flavorings because I started to go like, why? Like, how can you have something that's 0 calories
Yeah.
that has flavor? Like what? Like how does that even work? Flavor comes from adding things. And so I went and I did a bunch of research on the basically what those chemicals are and how they create flavorants. And the majority of them are it's like in like one little granule of this chemical is the equivalent of, for sweetness, the equivalent of like a whole like packet of sugar. And it just activates it so intensely. And so it's not that there's no caloric content, it's that it's literally like 1/100th of a calorie creates with this chemical, activates your receptors more than just the actual flavorant.
Terrifying.
That makes sense because I did one of those like put a toothpick in this pepper extract and see if you can handle it. I was like, I love spicy foods. This
Yeah,
won't
me
be
too.
bad.
Yeah.
I
Doesn't
literally
take it.
dabbed
Yeah.
it. She's like, "Oh, that's enough. That's enough." I'm like,
Yeah,
"I'll
right.
be fine, lady." I lick it. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
At first, I couldn't believe the feeling I was feeling. It was like a wave of heat came to the back of my mouth and then down my throat. I'm like, I didn't even make it down that far. What happened? How did it do that? And then I was like, just walking on this pier, and I was like, we need to get milk. We need to get milk or water right now. I don't care how much it costs. There was a vendor there selling water bottles for like $6. I'm like, I know your business strategy.
Gotta watch it with water though,
Stood
because
by the-
water sometimes can make it worse.
Oh, I didn't care. I know I've
Yeah.
heard that before, but at the time when you feel like you're dying,
Yeah.
you'll take water.
Yeah,
Oh.
because the water is not. You want something that's fat soluble because that will absorb the
Milk.
Milk.
milk or
was
fruit
no-
or things like rice, things that will actually absorb a little bit.
Oh, really?
but-
Okay. That's crazy. So, I want to talk to you guys about where the creation of the Way Highway came about.
You know, Sean and I have worked together in Dr. God, which is our comedy group, which you're going to experience.
Oh yeah. By the way, I have some questions.
Okay,
yeah.
that's okay. We're happy to answer. So we've been performing together in Dr. God for like a decade now, really, which is crazy. And there's 5 of us in that group, but we, came to IDOBI through Brett and Katie,
Don't know.
Brett Davern, Katie Leclerc. I know you've never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
That's good because they're trouble. But I've known, I met Brett years ago in Brett's first movie that he ever did, the cinematic classic, The Pool Boys.
Oh yeah, it was on IMDb's top 100 films of all time.
Yes,
I don't know if you know that.
yes, it was number 44.
40, that's pretty impressive.
Double fours, baby.
Yeah, it was Breakfast at Tiffany's, Pool Boys, and then Goodfellas.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it was Scarface, but yeah.
Scarface, yeah. Goodfellas would probably be
Yeah,
higher.
yeah, yeah.
No, but we did a movie together years ago and just sort of kept in touch after that. And it was, I mean, we did a movie together, but really we spent 5 weeks in New Orleans together, which was much more of the bonding experience than actually, making the film.
Yeah.
We kept in touch with that. And then when he started doing the show over here, he kind of was like, you guys should do that's my Brett Tavern. You guys should do a show over there.
Hey guys, just do a show.
Oh,
weird.
you're turning more
That's what he
into,
sounds like. That's exactly what he
yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah, those are. I'm trying to figure out who you just sounded like there.
Wow. Hey guys. Hey guys.
I don't know.
But yeah, so and with the sort of the cannabis space, it's such an exploding kind of area, and we wanted to demystify it a little bit in the sense that I think that in 10 years or whatever, it's there's still a little bit of like trepidation amongst guests. People are like, I don't know if we should go on the show or if we should do this or we should do that, especially people who are on like we have friends who are on shows on like Disney Channel and stuff. We're like, no, that's okay because they'll fire you.
Yeah.
Not you probably because you're even though you are it's a Disney corporation, but
Oh, now you got me a little concerned, but that's okay.
But I think in 10 years it's going to be no weirder than doing Booze Traveler or doing that show that's like where they travel and they drink and stuff. I think that it's got to be demystified a little where it's a journey that millions of people go on a regular basis, and we don't want it to. It's not a big deal for us. I don't smoke a lot. I don't test stuff on the air. Sean is our product tester.
I've become a connoisseur too. Like I'm really into more than it's not about getting high anymore. I'm very interested in CBD and the effects of CBD. I've started taking a CBD tincture every morning, which is just like a supplement. They're lemon ginger CBD drops, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, CBD is the part. It's the cannabinoid contained in marijuana that is not psychotropic, so you don't get high.
Right.
It's mostly just a mood stabilizer, a pain reliever, an anti-inflammatory. So I've kind of been taking CBD every morning to see what I feel like. Kind of instead of, waking up and popping aspirin, waking up and, popping an anti-anxiety pill, waking up and popping something to help with mild ADD, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of medical and the medical and political and physical side of it we're also interested in as well. It's not just like, hey, let's, watch Adult Swim.
Right? Yeah, I feel like if this was 20 years ago, this show would be a show where we're just like ripping bongs in here. But now that we're here and we're, older and wiser, this is really a show about the culture.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of impressed with the show. I was really interested in the more scientific aspects of it, and trying out different stuff like what you do and talking about its effects and how has it helped, if you notice any effect, and kind of like the brief history of certain things. I find that a little interesting, even though I don't partake in marijuana, but I am a extreme advocate of its health benefits. So
Yeah, and that's huge for us too, just in the sense that, sure, we have fun stories to tell, and we do occasionally tell those stories. So, or we have people come on, like when Katie came on and told her story of, yakking in front of the Foo Fighters at a festival, from edibles. Like those stories are entertaining, but in the flip side, it's not, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Jeff Spicoli anymore. That's still a part of the culture, certainly, but there's also people who are functional and have jobs and are not in their parents' basement, carving an apple to smoke out of. There's a lot more, and especially now with the dispensaries. I mean, you go into these, you probably haven't, obviously been in many of them, but you go into these dispensaries.
You should just
it's
like,
amazing.
Yeah,
the technology and the variety of products and the different ways that people are using it. And for a long time, these products were sort of compartmentalized into miscreant behavior, whereas now it's like people are realizing that there's so much complexity in this in the product itself that can be used for different medical things, and also you can find different ways to sort of go on the ride. You don't have to just be blitzed out of your gourd. Not that people don't still do that, but
Right.
But of course, yeah.
So any specific calling that you guys felt like, oh no, I really think this is a needed show, or like this is something I really want to.
I think it's twofold. I think it's a needed show, and I also think it's an entry point because I think that the cannabis world in general is growing, and it's becoming a real cash cow. So in addition to trying to get knowledge out to the public, first in radio, hopefully maybe in television, I think there will be, like, besides the programs that are already on Vice, like we see it starting, I think there will be more shows. Like we need a marijuana travel show where people are going around the world to different places where it's legal and showing it live, seeing what happens. But then also beyond that, I think the money that's coming in through the marijuana industry is going to be distributed in interesting ways. And I think one way might be through the entertainment industry. So it's,
for sure. Well, and there's also a real battle going on in the cannabis world, which a lot of people don't know about, which is there are giant corporations that are angling to take over cannabis the way that, Budweiser handles beer. So like Bayer, the maker of aspirin, all that kind of stuff, they are heavily invested. And there's also sort of a rear guard action being fought against places like Monsanto, who they are all looking at this and going, okay, now that this is getting legalized and or decriminalized throughout the country, there's a gold rush happening. And unfortunately, with those gold rushes, you also have the big, huge conglomerates that are already trying to steamroll. So, as this is moving forward, I think there's some really interesting entrepreneurial stuff that's happening. But at the same time, it's like, is this going to just be taken over in the same way that, the factory farming version of cannabis? And I think that that's an enormous challenge that's happening right now.
Absolutely. There is a couple things that you guys brought up. First of all, I'm so thankful we live in a day and age where you can know that these like big, huge companies are doing some shady stuff. For instance, they put out all these like anti-marijuana ads. I think it was in Arizona or New Mexico, and then later on you realize like this big pharmaceutical company, the same ones that were putting out these anti-marijuana ads, they're like, oh, we made the synthetic version of it. It's like, you guys.
They fought against, a lot of them are starting to fight against the laws that allow you to grow your own. So basically and they're couching it in safety, right? Which is, okay, if we can regulate it and we can, package it in certain ways and the FDA has to okay it and things like that, they're packaging it. It's a little bit like how, in the States, like with like cheeses, like you can't have like raw cheese and stuff like that.
That's so stupid.
They're couching it as a health thing when really it's a profitability thing.
Absolutely.
So they're trying to, the grow your own. A lot of states relaxed that before they relaxed being able to have dispensaries, and they don't like that. They're like, well, if people grow their own, then they're not going to go buy it from us, giant corporation that is going to have it for sale in eventually in Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
And like, so what's the way you would fight against that?
I would say probably in an arena with giant sticks with cushions on the end. No, I think that the way to fight against it is just to support, like anything else, support local business. There is a lot of that stuff. And
pay attention to legislation. Just pay attention to what we're voting for and what happens. Really just paying attention.
I mean, I think unfortunately a certain amount of it is going to be inevitable. There are companies already that have become, gigantic companies, like based out of Colorado. There are dispensary groups that now have 30, 40 dispensaries.
Like MedMen is one of them, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have kind of pioneers versus a company that doesn't know anything about it. That's just a conglomerate coming in. I'd rather have MedMen become very popular, being people that started, small and grew big, rather than just have it taken over by Tylenol or Bayer.
Right. Well, and to me, the watch is going to be like, okay, when is the first one of these that gets bought by Amazon? Like, that's coming. That one of these, because Amazon bought Whole Foods, right? Amazon owns Whole Foods now. And with their infrastructure of delivery, the next sort of frontier that people are trying to crack is, and it exists in a lot of places, but eventually it's going to be, when it becomes legal to sort of deliver, that companies like Amazon and things like that are going to just eventually going to go, well, we can just ship it to people.
That's something that amazed me whenever I was in Dubai and whenever I visited Syria. A lot of Middle Eastern countries and parts of India, these cities, when I first went there years and years ago, I was so amazed at like deliveries. Like, oh, they will just deliver the food to you. Does that cost like extra, or is that like extreme? Like how expensive is it? They're like, no, like that's part of the food. You buy the food, they'll deliver it for you if you're within a certain amount of like kilometers or whatever. And now living in the U.S., I think that was one of the biggest issue is like, okay, how are we gonna transport these things over like longer distances? Like, you live in LA, it's all spread out, right? So you need like some kind of infrastructure of like delivery people or people who are like hired to deliver stuff. So it's not surprising that Amazon would want to get in on it because everybody's getting everything delivered to their home. Like,
well, and Postmates and that kind of stuff now.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Postmates.
Yeah.
I did, dude. You should have seen me the first time I ordered Postmates. I was like, all right. So I ordered it. I see the driver. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Came within the hour. I was like, and then when he's like, the guy came up to my door. I was like, cool. So how do I give you a tip in cash or do I pay you? Like, how do I? He's like, oh, it's all in the app. Like, I just drop it off and then you can tip me if you want on the app, and then it's already paid for through your card payment. I was like, so you can just go. You can just leave it here and go? He's like, yeah. I was like, This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it, but we have a couple for like Neil and Dr. God is super into Postmates.
Yeah,
He gets
I'm into
all sorts of
Postmates,
crap
man.
from Postmates.
I'll have Postmates, like, if it's too late and I don't want to walk down the street, I'll be like, bring me 7-Eleven stuff. Bring me snacks,
Oh, you can order
Postmates.
7-Eleven
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You can just order. You can just has drop-down
Wow.
menus, and
Yeah, it's getting pretty silly.
it's ridiculous.
But the other sort of next frontier that I think is going to be interesting to watch is, right now and it's funny that you mentioned, things like Dubai. Well, where alcohol, it's like, okay, you could have it in your house or you can have it in a hotel or whatever, but there aren't, bars and things like that. And I think that that's part of what's happening. That's what's happened with cannabis also. And that's sort of the next frontier, which is, okay, you've got dispensaries. It's legal to have it in your home. It's legal to grow. And I'm talking California here, obviously. There's lots of places where it's not. But there aren't clubs yet. There aren't.
I know a little bit about this.
Yeah, and
'cause we're doing
Sean knows this
Yeah,
world.
I've been researching a little bit. So marijuana licenses are coming, like liquor licenses, and I forget what the original quote was with the person I was talking to, but it was like $25,000. But people are just going to buy them and then resell them for crazy amounts.
300, yeah.
300, yeah.
Which
Just
is
like
what happens with liquor
liquor
licenses in LA.
licenses, just like liquor licenses. And the way the weed license works is it's like a cabaret license. You have a designated smoking area, like a lounge. People can smoke there, and you can have paraphernalia there, but the dispensary itself has to be a different physical location. So all the paraphernalia can be there, and people can smoke there, but any sort of ordering or buying is done from a menu, and it's a delivery service. So
But how close? I mean, it can be like right next door.
It can be
yeah.
next door. It can be across the street. It can be a little bit away where it's like a bicycle delivery. It doesn't matter. It just can't be the same. You can't walk into a place, buy it, sit down, and smoke it.
Well, and LA just also passed a law, or California overall, where they were doing CBD cocktails for a while, and you could I was at Cat and the Fiddle, and you could add CBD oil to a cocktail for like $5 or something like that, and then now you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
That they passed a law
You
prohibiting
can
that.
do it non-alcoholically places still, I believe, because there were some coffee shops that were doing it.
Yeah,
know,
you can add
CBD.
CBD oil
Why-
to a
why not?
smoothie.
Why not with alcohol?
I think it's a little bit too much like original Four Loko, like a little bit too much going on. There's a little they just don't want the alcohol mixed with CBD oil and people getting not knowing what's going to happen and just getting too messed up
Yeah.
immediately.
Well, since you guys are into like natural supplements, I got to share with you guys stuff I've been taking, which I found a considerable positive effect. Ginseng, like 3 types of ginseng I've been taking, like in a little supplement. This is all like organic stuff too. And for my joints, turmeric, and that's helped considerably. And this stuff called 7-Day Support, and it has like turmeric and then like black pepper extract and a couple of other roots that I can't remember, but ashwagandha root. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, never tried it.
I highly recommend that for people who suffer like extreme anxiety or stress. It's supposed to like smooth you out, like it's supposed to help support healthy cortisone levels. It's like a mood enhancer. I'll be honest with you, I've been taking that and the ginseng. I'm pretty physically active person. My energy's back to normal. I'm not really like, I feel like good.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to explain. Like just very like good. It might be a combination of the exercise and all that stuff too, and meditation, but I definitely recommend that. I'm curious to see if you want to try that maybe with some of the THC stuff.
Are you an up guy that needs to come down, or are you a down guy that needs to come up?
I don't know.
Or just depends in the hour.
I'm pretty energetic person, and I like being at 100 all the time because I have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, because some people, I have found they look to supplements or even in CBD or things like that. They want the energy, they want the boost, and then other people are like, I got too much going on up here anyway, in my head.
Oh, they're too frantic.
Yeah, they want to kind of come down, which I guess is sort of very crudely the indica sativa argument, but
sure.
And for me, like I prefer with supplements and with things like that. Like I want stuff that is going to make my brain chill a little bit. Like I don't need which is why caffeine Like I can only drink so much caffeine because at a certain point, like I cross over into panic.
Wow.
You know,
really?
well, but just like, you know, the heart rate gets going too much, and I'm like, all right, I've had enough caffeine. I need to now kind of.
You feel like a sense of anxiety coming along, like a small sense? with that?
Yeah, or just it makes it hard. If I get too hyped up, it actually makes it harder for me to focus.
Interesting.
You know,
I have
like
the opposite problem.
yeah.
Like I want to go. The crash is what kills me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so that's why like organic multivitamin with like B vitamins that helps kind of sustain my energy. The ginseng and the ashwagandha kind of help maintain that energy level for me throughout the
That's
day.
good. That's good. Like the smoothness is
Yeah.
a great thing to get out of that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
But let me
flatten
be
it
very.
out.
Let me clarify for people listening. It's not like I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. Memorize my lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm done. And then don't go to the next.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on. It's like
Yeah.
I don't have any lulls throughout the day, which I was very surprised about.
Which is also super helpful, I think, you know, for sets when you're on set, because
yeah, dude.
because to me that is the hardest part of that, and you see people who will caffeinate throughout the day, but I've found it's very hard to pace caffeinating yourself, because when you're on a set, like you don't really know when you're going to need your energy. You know, like you might be down for 2 hours, 3 hours. And when you're drinking caffeine, like there's nothing worse than when you slam a bunch of coffee and then they're like, actually, we're not going to need you for 3 hours. But your energy is through the roof, and you're like, all right, well, now what am I going to do for 3 hours? Am I just going to go talk to people? I'll go talk to that grip over there. You know, and like,
Yeah. I think for me, that's one of the best things I've learned to do on set is managing my focus and energy levels. Because yeah, you could fall into the trap of over caffeinating way too early. I've done that. Super tired. Finding out how your own body works. So like for me, if I have a full court day, but I'm literally one of the lawyers who's like supporting the other lawyer in their closing argument or whatever, there's been days where I'm like literally just sitting
yeah,
the whole day
yeah.
and with no lines and just like reacting. And like I'm there, a team player, awesome. But those are the most draining days in the world. It's hard for me to read other books on set. It just is, like, because the books I read are way too dense, and so I'm like, I have to really focus. I'm not that smart, and like, breathing and meditating, that helps tremendously.
Yeah. Well, it's like being an athlete on the bench, you know, like you're still at the game and you still kind of have to keep up your energy level.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're in the game, like there's a certain amount of adrenaline that comes with that. And to me, I've always been impressed with, you know, with directors that I've worked with that I'm really impressed by. Sometimes one of the things I'm most impressed by is their capacity to maintain a good, strong, solid energy level from like 7 in the morning until 7 at night. And like that is an underrated skill set. You know,
I have that whenever I'm in every single scene.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like the more acting, quote unquote, acting work I have to do in the day, the less tired I am during the daytime.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I fucking love my job. I just want to say that.
Good.
That's awesome.
I cannot express to you guys. It's almost over. We're almost done filming all of our episodes for the upcoming season 2, and I'm so thankful to be part of a show where you just go to work and you're just, I don't know. It's really incredible. I just felt the need to.
That's okay. Hey,
That's awesome.
it's good to be thankful. You know, it's that time of year. It's the holidays. It's the holidays. It's time to appreciate.
I like our conversation too, because I don't know you guys that well. And shout out to Katie. Katie's the one who introduced me to you guys, and I love Katie so much that I was just like, yeah, I don't know these people, but yeah, of course, let me be on their show, and I'll be on. They can come on mine, and yeah, I'll do your Dr. God show, which I literally have no clue. I'm going on the pure recommendation level of Katie, Brett, and I saw that Bo. I haven't talked to Bo in a while.
Bo's done it several times. You know Derek Mears for some reason.
Oh, Derek Mears. First of all, shout out to him. He's playing Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Swamp
Yeah,
Thing.
he
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
badass.
cool.
Swamp Thing. I don't know if that's the song that goes with it, but it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. Or they could just do Swamp Thing. You make my heart. That's the wrong tone for the show, guys.
No, me and Derek, we share the same management group.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he was on my previous podcast a long time ago, and then he was on this one recently. And
Yeah, we love Derek.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy.
so, okay, what is I've done improv before in the past.
Sure.
But so what's going on with this show? What is it?
It's going to be so fun. So
Okay.
the Dr. God Revival is an Armando style show, and Armando was a form created in Chicago a million years ago by a dude named Armando, who was like, "Hey guys, we're going to do an improv show. Let's do this like storytelling into improv." And everyone was like, "Well, you got to do the storytelling, Armando. You're great at telling stories." And he was like, "All right." And then it became the Armando Diaz Experience, and then people do it by different names. UCB calls it ASCAT. I forget what what was IO West. There's a group of people that do it. I think they call it the Hootenanny, if I'm remembering it correctly. We call it a revival.
Yeah.
So basically we bring in a guest that's going to be a storyteller. So we'll come out, you'll get a suggestion from the audience, you'll free associate. Oh yeah, fire makes me think of
Unicorns, that
camping.
reminds me
Yeah.
of this, and here's a story about that.
Yeah, and then tell a story, 3 minutes ish, and then we'll improvise based off of that story, taking out, themes, games, ideas,
References.
characters, references.
Yeah, and then
turning
you
it
come
into
out
something.
again about halfway through and tell another story related to that or unrelated or whatever. It's a not the most stringent form, but tell a couple stories. Sometimes people tell 3, sometimes they do 2.
Jump
Some-
in when you want
sometimes-
to. If you feel like I want to play in the improv part, do it. If you
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure,
awesome.
absolutely.
We've had guests that have not done it at all, who were petrified at the notion, who didn't want to. Katie didn't really want to play. I don't think she did any improv.
No. Mary Birdsong jumped in.
Yeah,
Mary
Marion
Birdsong-
DeWolf jumped in
Marion
last.
DeWolf
She
jumped
did our
in.
last show. But yeah, sometimes the guests love to participate. Emo Phillips participated,
Yeah.
which was amazing.
That's amazing.
I don't know if you knew.
I don't know this gentleman.
Emo is a famous stand-up from the 90s. He opened for Weird Al on Weird Al's most recent tour.
Yeah.
He was very, very, very funny stand-up and a very weird guy, and we love him to death.
I don't mean this as an insult. He looks like a weird stand-up guy.
Dude,
Like the first
yeah,
picture that came up,
he's
yeah.
so unique in it. Not only like he's a very unique person with a very unique sound and a very unique cadence.
Right.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, so, but
forward to
it's funny with stand-ups are often really bad revival hosts. They're really bad at this format because they start kind of doing, emo was great, but they start kind of doing material versus telling authentic stories. And it's actually kind of hard to do improv off of like, here's this routine that I'm doing about, sugar cereal or whatever.
Yeah, jokes don't work in improv kind of
Right.
across the board.
Yeah, it's some of the best people that we've had were, voiceover artists or just sort of, we had a scientist once, the man who destroyed Pluto,
Yeah.
but he was the guy who got Pluto declassified as a planet. This Caltech astronomer, and he's not a performer. I mean, any teacher is a little bit of a performer, but he had never done anything like this. But he still went up there and just told stories about his life. And our whole show, we ended up doing a lot of like weird NASA-y, science-y scenes and stuff like that.
Dude,
so,
I want him on the show.
Yeah.
I want to bring him on.
He's
Ask him
great.
Some space
He's great.
stuff.
yeah, he's great.
great.
He's super cool.
Can
And
you guys get me hooked up with him, maybe?
we can try. I haven't talked. This was several years ago, and I haven't
Okay.
had any interaction with him since
We'll figure
then.
it
But I'll
out.
give you
We'll
his
figure it
email.
out.
Yeah.
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 So we love having, all different kinds of people on there.
That's awesome.
I mean, it leans, obviously, because of our business, it leans heavily into actors
Yeah.
and Hollywood people in general. But
Are you guys ready for the hordes that are going to be there tonight?
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, because
Yes.
prime time's coming on.
Yes. Yes.
That was a total joke. But I have a small group of people coming, so I'm excited.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. How long? So you guys been doing this for 10 years? You said, Dr.
Yeah,
that's a substantial amount of time.
As Dr. God, I would say improv. I mean,
15, yeah.
15, almost 20 at this
Yeah.
point.
That's
Started
awesome.
in college, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable that we've managed to stay together this long as a group. You understand you know, it's funny when you see like, oh God, you know, Monty Python was only together for 5 years or whatever it was. You know, it's usually harder to maintain personalities for that period of time than it is to be doing good work.
I always say to improv classes I'm teaching that they will have more improv groups break up due to nothing more than the difficulty of getting 9 people together in a room in Los Angeles at the same time.
Dude, that is almost impossible.
Yeah. Yep.
As actors, like, it was so hard. Just, hey, do you guys want to do like a scene study, or do you want to do this? Some people would flake out. Luckily, I've got my best friend Isaiah Adams. We meet up every Sunday morning now, and this actually kind of correlates into kind of the next subject I want to ask you guys, which is kind of personal, which I hope you guys don't mind. But I'm a little curious about you guys now. Very motivated individual, so we meet every Sunday morning. We talk acting, we talk life, we talk shop, and then we do our acting class where we give each other a cold reading scene, and we'll just run it over and over and over again. He hasn't seen it, or I haven't seen it, or we both haven't seen it, or if he has a self-tape, we'll work on that, or if I have one, and we'll just do that every Sunday.
Awesome.
So it's really hard finding somebody, but when you do find somebody with that same kind of motivation and work ethic, I mean, the results really speak for themselves. And we both noticed extreme advancements in both of our careers because of that. So highly recommend to anybody listening, find that in your life. Segueing into what you're married, correct?
I am.
Are you married?
No, not
Okay. For you guys, and feel free to answer at any point, what are like the top 5 most important things in your life? I'll give you mine, so that'll give you guys some time. So it's God, and within that realm, it's faith in my spirituality, family, career, service, and then like life enjoyment. You know, like enjoying your life, like with cool experiences.
I don't know. I you know, I would say for me, you know, sort of family and marriage is, you know, until I got married, I didn't realize that would actually take over sort of the top spot. But, you know, you know, even though I'm very focused on my career and sort of purpose and writing and all that kind of stuff, you know, if it got into a situation where it's like, okay, well, you have to move to this thing because of, you know, to maintain your marriage or to do whatever, and I had to sort of change my life up to maintain that, I would do that.
Move to a different location or move?
Yeah, I mean, if something came up where it's like, okay, she had to go take care of a family member or do whatever, like, it surprises me how many other things I would be willing to change in my life to keep that healthy. Which to me is indicative of the fact that it's actually higher than I would have thought before I got married. But now that I'm married, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not saying that's more important than my career, but I would be willing to change a lot of elements in my career to make that healthy. So maybe that means it is actually a higher priority. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you love her and you care for her tremendously. And there's like a special bond.
Yeah, and I want that to I you know, it's hard to stay. You know, LA is a weird town to have relationships in, and it can be very hard to sort of, you're off doing things, and you have to, I think, put in a certain amount of effort on a regular basis. And you start to realize, you know, you're like, okay, well, actually, that is something that I value more than I value, you know, a lot of the other elements of this stuff. But for me, at the top, I would still probably put purpose, which to me is different than, like, purpose is like, what are you here to do? You know, and that can intertwine in faith in a certain capacity. I'm not a religious guy, but I do believe in sort of purpose and finding what you're supposed to be here for.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
I
go
just say
ahead.
that I'm curious to know more about this purpose. And the whole reason I'm bringing this up is because something that's attracted me about you guys' personality is the fact that you've been doing the show for 10 years. And I love that.
Yeah.
Love that so much, because that's really rare to find in our industry. That constant artistic hustle, grind, getting better. Oh, we love the show. We love doing it. I think that's very rare. So that's why I'm asking these questions.
And it's not always. I mean, we've had bumps in you know
Sure.
in the road, and sometimes there's 5 of us, and there was 6 of us for a while. One moved to San Francisco, but there's definitely moments where you want to kill the other people in the group, and I mean, it's
He's my stand-in. What's that? I don't like him. Kidding, Eric.
But it does become like siblings a little bit, it's like having brothers. You sometimes want to just, you're like, oh,
We all don't have any either, which is an
Yeah, that's
interesting
true.
thing. We're all Neil's an only child, and then everybody else has an older sister.
Yeah.
yeah, just a weird.
It's a weird thing.
But I don't know. Maybe that's why we're like, we need a group
Right.
of guys.
That's not abnormal. I think that's a total natural reaction. I think it's so
Yeah.
important. Like whenever we do our guys' night podcast, dude, I need that at least once and every once in a while, like that, just like brotherly bonding time.
Yeah.
Lots of making fun of each other goes on at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It gets really mean, but it's all filled with love. We call each other on our bullshit all the time. I think that's really important too.
Yeah,
keeps
it is.
everybody level. Well, then what for you is? Do you have a certain purpose? You feel like is it clearly set out?
I feel like it's a moving target. My sort of day job, quote unquote, is a writer, and that's what I do.
Right.
And have been doing for 15 years as sort of my world, my job, and but within that, like writing is a job, but like trying to find what you want to say is the purpose. Like the actual physical act of writing is like the work. But then finding the purpose of it is like, all right, well, what's the purpose of your writing? What are you trying to put out in the world? What are you trying to create?
Yes.
It's slightly different than the actual just, because you work on jobs that are not, it's a gig.
Right.
So I've done plenty of movies that it's not that I'm not proud of them or I learned something from all of them, but they definitely, I'm like, okay, well, that's not the one that, my funeral, I want them to be like, and then, there was this, Nickelodeon, movie of the week or whatever. They're part of your journey. But I really hope that that's not my purpose.
I think that idea of purpose, and we're gonna get to you, Sean, too, as well. But I think you can choose what that is.
Yeah.
I truly believe you.
But
have
it
control over
evolves too.
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But I don't want people to think like, oh, it's out of my hands or stuff like that.
No, I don't think it is. I think that, as a matter of fact, you have to be tenacious about it because it will slip out of your grasp if you're not.
100%.
Yeah, and you won't notice it's gone. I think too. That's the most insidious part. Is if you, not that you can't slow down and take vacations and do things for enjoyment. And I, obviously, we do a radio show about cannabis. We have a hedonistic side that we fully acknowledge as part of life. But I think that the danger is, as you get older, and you sort of make compromises and you do this and that and you get distracted, you can look up and go, wait, what was I here for again? Why did I move here? And it can kind of just, leak away into the drains and it's gone,
Dude, 2 years in LA, I was serving tables. I was at my restaurant. I served tables, and I've told this story before. We were at the restaurant Christmas party. There was some drama going on between the waiters or whatever. And I was like getting really invested. I was listening to it. And then I kind of saw everybody like kind of acting a fool, having a good time, which is fine. But I was like, oh, shit. Like, these people have been here for much longer than I have. And this is not what I came out here to do. I'm not judging them on their journey, but I did not come out here to be involved in
Right.
restaurant drama between the wait staff.
Yeah.
I'm so. It's whenever I'm in restaurants, I always, or even I was at a country club this summer, and I saw sort of drama happening, and I'm so fascinated by it because I'm always like, God, like every place you go has a weird little subculture. Every restaurant, every health club, every gym, every I'm always like, okay, who's sleeping with whom? Like who's mad at whom? Like, but anywhere, it just becomes your world, and you have to be careful of what you let become your world. Like,
Absolutely.
what do you let get to you, and what are you thinking about all the time?
100%. And it circles back to kind of our first thing is like the things we give up for short-term pleasure versus long-term benefit, Mr. Sean,
Yes.
what about you, man?
yeah.
Important things in your life.
So at the top, kind of in no particular order, I've got my family and my friends and my girlfriend. So
Yeah.
I have a small, complicated family. So my parents and my older sister. I'm very close with an uncle and who's also my godfather, and I have an aunt out here who's also my godmother who I don't talk to enough because we're all complicated, weird Irish Italian people from the North Shore of Massachusetts. There's an extended family that nobody talks to anymore, so it's weird, it's complicated. So I have to try to hold them close and communicate with them as much as I can. My friends, I've got my closest friends out here and then closest friends back home. Every time I'm home back on the North Shore of Mass.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Not
I
at
just
all.
want to make sure people see you. If you want to scoot in a little
Yeah.
bit on the camera. Yeah, sorry. Go
There we
ahead.
go. No
Yeah.
worries. We always talk about this club of friends that have been friends for now 30 years.
Wow.
So it's crazy. I hold those people very close to me and try to see them as much as I can when I'm home. But it's kind of like I have another arm out on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend Faith, whose name is Faith, because of course it is, who
So faith is very important to Sean.
yeah, right. Who just came into my life and is redefining what partnership is for me.
Yeah,
kind
she's
of
really
every
too
day.
good for you.
Right?
Wow. Drama.
No, but
kidding.
it's just that not to just quote as good as it gets, but that it's a person who just makes me want to be better. And it's crazy. She didn't say anything. She didn't tell me I needed to change. It just started happening as soon as she came into my life.
Well, and with that Irish stubbornness, if she'd said, you need to change,
No,
we'd
we're
be
like,
like,
"Get
screw
out."
you, I don't need to change,
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So then under that three there is my drive, which I think is wrapped into my purpose. I have this drive to entertain people, to make people feel feelings, whether that be laughter, sadness, to make people happy. More laughter and happiness on a day-to-day level. I don't actively seek out making people sad unless I'm doing a work.
Right, you're not out on the street just making
Just trying
people
to
feel awful.
evoke-
Spilling coffee on them.
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Oops."
But that kind of purpose has been an interesting thing because it is and has been dangerous. That drive to entertain people has within it just like the ability to settle. And I feel like here in LA, I spent a lot of time at a comedy club on Hollywood Boulevard thinking that was it, that I was doing it, whatever that means, and kind of gave 15 years of my life to that place and forgot that there's a me outside of it. So I think you can get wrapped up in that.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was just saying. I mean, it became your world.
It became
And
my
you
world.
have to be careful what you let become your world in LA.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for everybody to do that
Yeah.
because you live with you're looking at the entire life spectrum through the tiniest keyhole. So it's like what you think is real or truthful is not real for somebody else, or it's totally different once you like look at it through another person's perspective. And also, I highly encourage any artist, go travel, go see the world, go
I'm a big
explore. Like I if you can't afford going to another country, that's fine. Just take a road trip somewhere, save some money, go do that, see how other people live. And if you can't even do that, go to YouTube and learn about I love learning about like subcultures, like weird underground cultures in like Tokyo, like their Tokyo hot rod subculture, and just watch a documentary on that. It's nuts, man, what's out there in the world. By the way, Japan is like the closest thing to a foreign planet as you can possibly get. And I can't wait to go there this year.
Yeah.
By the way, it's happening. Jonte
All right.
and Isaiah and I we're going to Japan, Michael.
Yeah, that's how I felt about India. I felt like India was a foreign country.
Really?
Yeah.
I only want to go to northern India.
Well, that's where I was.
Oh, you went to the Himalayas and stuff?
I went to the base. I went to like Nainital and like the base of the Himalayas and like up into those. I mean, I was also in the rest of Rajasthan. And
Are there
all
any
that.
pictures of this on your Instagram?
No, because I went. I mean, God, it was
Okay.
15 years ago when I went, so it was I need to go do a throwback
Please do.
in India stuff.
No, because I that's one of my dreams is to backpack like Nepal, Tibet, and like the Himalaya areas and find like these remote villages and just be homeless for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, but what was so bizarre about it was, you're taking these, these buses up the side of the mountain, and it's like the most dangerous feeling thing in the world because like there's like this rickety bus, there's like people on top of the bus,
Yeah.
and then like just a sheer cliff face, like a foot away from the tire. But then all of a sudden you show up to these places, and there's this huge former British town up there. So there's all these like British-looking colonial buildings, and there's still, 100,000 people up there. Like there's remote villages, but every once in a while you'll drive remotely for 3 hours, and then all of a sudden there'll be like this weird British city full of, not just people who have all moved up there, and they have a weird community, and it's but it's all still Indian. So all the food and everything else, but it's a very strange little pocket, but super cool.
Crazy. A little jealous. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Um,
but I totally agree with you about the travel stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
and I think one of the gifts of working in this business is it allows you to visit other subcultures for a little while, whether you're writing or acting, or making a movie. Every time you do another project or you write something, and you don't have to be in this industry to do that, but every time you can investigate these things, learn these worlds. Like if you're fascinated in that world, like I'm always like, well, I mean, that's how I choose projects to write sometimes, is like, what is an interesting subculture that I don't know that I can then really learn about.
Yeah. Have you guys watched Jiro Dreams of Sushi
Yes.
on Netflix?
I've not.
Dude,
Yeah, it's great.
that guy, he lives in his world.
I know.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
been making it how many years? Sorry, 50 years or something like that?
And what's amazing about that is that to me is he found his purpose, certainly. And even though it's a small place, right? Like he's not Bobby Flay. He doesn't have like 40 restaurants around, the country. He does his thing in a very small, but he does it so well that he became sort of famous and became known for just being so good at this one thing that it was so particular about his purpose that he didn't need to have an empire. He just
No.
has the thing he does.
No, yeah. One of the quotes that resonated with me is in the first like minute or two of the documentary, and he's just like this very small, soft-spoken Japanese man, and he just goes, "Find something you love to do, and then never complain about it, and do it every single day." It's like, that's quite amazing philosophy to have. And like, he's rarely missed work. I think the couple of times they said it was like funerals. And it's pretty incredible. A lot of Japanese like artisans are like that, though.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had more of that kind of mentality here in the States.
Yeah. It's weird here. I think some of that is sort of the late stage capitalist underpinnings of this country, that like you're a failure if you do not try to build an empire out of the thing that you love versus just doing the thing that you love.
Yeah.
And even with and again, even with the cannabis space, which is not to always go back to that, but it's funny to me because part of it is like you're seeing something which, because it was illegal or because it was sort of frowned upon, had this subcultural tint to it.
Yeah.
Still seeing like American capitalist machine kind of start just steamrolling over it.
Well,
And
shit, what about the other thing we do, man? Improv. Improv was a weird art form. an odd guru, a long-haired wild mountain man, was teaching people improv in Chicago, and a woman came in and she's quoted. What did she say? She said something insane. She was like, I offered him a bag of weed and $100 to like sit down and start teaching people improv. She wrote a book based off of his knowledge and then built a theater empire based off of not paying performers. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
So
Improv is
American.
not the improv. You better do it out of love.
If you're the
because,
performer,
yeah,
That bugs me.
yeah,
it bugs me too.
Yeah, yeah, it's been rough.
amazing what greed and selfishness, selfishness. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the damage it can do.
Mhm.
It really is incredible. And like how certain people, certain politicians, certain presidents, like, okay, I just couldn't believe it. And I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. But rarely do I talk politics on the show. And I just had to share this because like the amount of narcissism and like just grossness. I was just astounded by. I think I retweeted it. Somebody asked Trump, like, what are you thankful for on Thanksgiving? And his answer was basically me.
Yeah, I saw
You
that.
saw that?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guy, just lie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Lie.
Say anything.
Yeah.
Just don't say me. Literally the worst answer. And the way he said it, it was just like, it was me, obviously.
Well, the true like malignant narcissist, like I think how you know you've crossed into true like toxic, insane narcissism, which obviously he has, is when you no longer know what you should say. I mean, at least some people are like like horrible narcissists, but they've learned to not say the thing that they're thinking. They've learned how to say the right thing, but at a certain point, like, you don't even know anymore what the right thing to say is.
And my whole point about bringing that up is because it's so important to realize, like, you know what? You're not going to be super strong forever. You're not going to be young forever. You're not going to be super intelligent. Everybody's going to die, and then we don't know what's going to happen next. I personally believe in reincarnation to the next life form, but, like, you do not know what's going to happen. So nothing is really constant. And so to be that much, like, big-headed in anything you do, you know what I mean? It's just absolutely absurd. And it actually causes extreme negative effects. And you don't even know it. But if you, like, try to do that thing where you have a company, let's say, and you really want to pay your employees fairly. You want to really help them. You want to create a good, like, health care system within them. You want to, like, hey, can we evolve into something better? Can we develop new ideas? Can we help the general public? That's what creates, like, this amazing positivity, this amazing place for growth and for human advancement. And it sucks, but it's so rare we find that anywhere.
Yeah, I think at the core of narcissism is sadness. And I think that there's a self-loathing, and I think even with that particular individual, there's like, I don't feel sorry for him. I think he's a terrible human being, and I wish he was absolutely not in office. But there's a self-loathing at the core deep down, and maybe it's the fact that his dad was horrible and
dad was a nightmare.
abusive
I
to
don't know
him
if
and
you-
all that. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was awful. But like I think that like truly healthy people eventually, like, if you are healthy, if you're going to be healthy, you start to look around and care about other people, because that's the only way that your life, I think, ultimately can feel good. Like, I don't think if you only care about yourself, I think your life will ultimately never be satisfying.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. I actually respectfully disagree with what you said about at the core. I actually think it's a fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they can coexist in that scenario.
I agree with that. Yeah. Because I always try to put myself, because I'm an actor, and that's why why is this person doing? What's their motivation behind this?
Yeah.
And I always think, like, dude, this dude is what, in the 70s, right?
Yeah, mid-70s, late 70s.
Why are you trying to be president? You're already rich.
Because there's a
guy.
void. There's a void that cannot be filled.
I think it's a fear of, like, the impending doom of death. And if I just keep working, I can outrun death. If I just keep like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I've been
Yeah.
doing, and it seemed to work.
It was a publicity stunt that went wrong. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
When you look at the
I-
pictures of him on election night, and he's like, "What did I just do?"
All he wanted was Trump TV
Yeah.
and to yell at Hillary Clinton all day. And instead, he got elected president.
I disagree.
I don't think he wanted to be president.
I disagree.
I think some of the other people in his orbit wanted him to be president so that they could cash in on it. But I mean, I think that some level it might not have been real to him until it happened, and that's why his facial expression on election night looks terrifying.
Hey, you know what? That might be I like that. Like it didn't hit him till like, oh shit, I'm now the president. Like, can you imagine that happening to any of us in this room? That would be my face, even if I wanted to be president. Like, well, goddamn, I'm president. like,
Emperor.
oh, that's right, emperor. That's what I'm going for. I'm running in the next 2020 campaign. Please say
Please,
for emperor.
you're in.
Let's round up those bankers first of all.
Oh yeah, gotta get the money lined up.
Dude. This is so interesting. I've been so illuminated to like all these personal things about you guys, which I truly enjoy with people I don't know, just because I don't know, I'm always tired of mundane conversations. Like it happens to everybody, but I'm just like my neighbors, for instance, you know, like get in the elevator. How's it going? Good. Still warm outside. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. There's something about that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad at it. Sean, you're a little better at it.
I'm a little better at it.
You enjoy random conversations with people.
Yeah, sometimes though, I think I get caught in like too much information where all of a sudden I'm in the middle of something and I'm like, oh no, I'm telling a person a little too much that they don't want to hear about like the intricacies of the things that's happening.
That happens to me all the time. Somebody's telling me about stuff, and I'm like, dude, I just met you. I shifted my perspective on that. I'm like, okay, cool. For some reason, the universe is bringing us together. This person must be in a really weird space to share this really personal stuff. So I'm just gonna listen. Gonna listen, but it's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird, and I feel like as a writer, I should want to. I don't understand people who enjoy eavesdropping.
Oh, okay.
Like when I'm at nothing makes me more uncomfortable than I'm like at a cafe.
Yeah.
And someone at the next table is having a really loud personal conversation. And I'm like, I should, as a writer, be wanting to listen in and like get good scoop here, but I'm just embarrassed. And maybe it's the Midwesterner in me that like, you know, it's like the Protestant upbringing of, you know, you don't talk
What
about
is that?
life, but
What is speakerphone conversation through grocery store? What is that?
oh, you mean the people actually on the speakerphone?
It mystifies me because it's not even like I'm mad. I'm just kind of like, that's crazy to me. It just seems so like, whoa.
I heard someone.
Why are you doing
Dude,
that?
this is a true story.
Yeah.
I heard someone a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's weird when people use their phones in the bathroom. I heard someone in a stall in the men's room having a speakerphone conversation,
That's
which to
wild.
me is so not only gross but so dangerous because you cannot control every sound that is going to
That's
be.
a lot. Yeah.
But
Wow.
I had never experienced that before. People using their phones in the bathroom, I think, is weird enough. But a speakerphone when you're in the stall,
Dude,
that's playing with fire.
My old boss would just go into the urinal and just talk on the phone. He was an old agent though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Holding the handset or headphones?
Headset.
Headset, okay.
this. See, if you... I'm a little riled up because I know these people. If you decide to do that, hey, guess what? I get to look at you and stare.
Yeah.
And you don't get to give me a dirty. Hey man, you're having a conversation on your phone. You know what I do? I go, oh hi. Oh sorry, I thought you were talking to me. And I just keep walking. Because it's rude. It's rude. I'm sorry. It's rude.
Yeah.
There's not enough self-awareness behind it. We had a guy. Where was I? Was I with my brother William when this happened? Oh. Where was we? Horrible grammar.
Where was we?
Some guy playing music, just blaring it out loud. I think it was at the gym or someplace. Hey man, don't do that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that's so rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not people who watch videos on their phone with the volume up, just like sitting in like the airport, like waiting for a flight or whatever. There was we went to the
Drives
sushi
me
restaurant,
crazy.
and there was a woman with her phone watching a video of one of the three tenors, like Placido Domingo or something, but it was a remix of Placido Domingo mixed with techno.
Oh my God.
And she was watching it at full volume, sitting at her table, eating by herself. And not only did she watch it, but I guess she was super into it. She kept watching it. So she kept repeating this Placido Domingo techno video at full volume.
That's
at her.
psychological
And I was like,
warfare.
what are...
That's
is.
torture. It's sensual torture.
It was absolutely baffling.
Maybe
to
she was
me.
in the CIA. She was just testing shit out.
Well, that is how they drove David. They tried to drive David Koresh out of Waco, and when they burned down Waco, was they played "These Boots Are Made for Walking" by Nancy Sinatra over and over again, 24/7.
Oh, first of all, great move by the sheriff. Okay, I'm the sheriff. I'm doing that. We gotta look up the best sting operate here. My brother just sent it to me, dude. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, if I'm ever the sheriff, this is what I'm doing. You got warrants? Oh, we doing this. You coming in hard. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Police sting nabs the unsuspecting on YouTube.
It's funny because when you were first saying police and sting,
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be like actual
Every
the police,
breath
or, yeah,
you
mixed or
take.
something.
So we'll be able to hear it, right?
It's back there.
Perfect. They think they won a competition.
After registering in the lobby, this guy thought he was going into another room for a free DVD player.
Oh, buddy.
But Chandler police had a different prize for him and 2 dozen others who have outstanding arrest warrants, mostly for DUIs.
Our warrant officer realized there was
Why?
a huge amount of outstanding DUI warrants.
It's like The Simpsons.
Why is he having so much fun? Does he still think it's a bit?
Can we skip ahead to the? There's a woman who
I
gets
loved her
arrested.
on West Wing, by the way.
Was she really on West Wing?
No, but she looks a lot like the woman
Oh,
that played.
this one right here. Watch this.
Oh man.
Look at her face.
She cooled out.
By the way,
quick.
Look.
No, it's not a joke. You are under arrest.
By the way,
Man.
all of these people are way too excited about winning a free DVD player.
Dude.
Well, also, the footage looks a little bit old, so maybe it was like the hay of DVD players.
yeah.
Right. It was like 10, it was
They,
like 10
they
years
did it.
ago.
They did it on The Simpsons too.
Okay. Dude, so on the end of that video, there's 2 people who showed up late, and they're like knocking on the door. They're like, "Hey, let us in! Like, let us in!" And then they get arrested.
Oh no!
Dude, I love stuff like that. I don't
That's
know
so
why.
funny. That's good.
It works.
It's good
It
theater.
does. Hey,
Yeah, here it is.
everyone wants something free.
This sting can't miss, boys. I
Oh my
mailed
gosh,
these
that's
bogus prize certificates to every scofflaw in Springfield. When they show up for their free motorboats, we arrest them and beat them to the full extent of the law.
So the hook is baited, huh? Nice metaphor, Eddie.
Yeah, good work.
All right.
No.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the full volume public
It's a lot.
media usage is a scourge for
a lot.
certainly.
For what?
It's a scourge. I'm definitely but do you actually interact? Do you go over and because I always want to, like, when someone's on their speaker and they're like, yeah, we'll meet you, or they're like talking really loud, like, yeah, we'll meet you over there. I always want to be like, that sounds great. All right, I'll see you over there, and just continue the conversation with
Justin,
the person.
I will go, yeah? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah.
I say that. And whoever's with me
Yeah.
gets embarrassed. But I'm like, no, they should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
They should, because nobody's ever told them, hey, that's rude. Hey,
Yeah.
that's a little weird. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always want to act like I'm part of the group And they're like, all right, well then I'll see you at Coffee Bean. I'll be like, that's great. See you Coffee Bean at 4. Thanks, Jim. Or whatever. I don't know what the guy's name is.
Man, I love staring. Love staring because hey, you got to feel a little weird for doing that.
I got into a little fracas yesterday on the road.
Fracas.
Yeah,
fracas on the road.
I did, and I don't feel bad about it because in front of me, we were driving from visiting a friend, and in the car in front of me, all of a sudden, just bags of garbage thrown out the window onto the street, just like like McDonald's bags. Like they'd eaten dinner, and then they'd finished their burger or whatever. They just threw their trash out, and then the cup just onto the frickin' road. And I was like, and
whoa! We have to bleep that out.
Yeah, Ferrara. I was like, you
Ferrara.
But I drove up next to him, and there were these, and it was these 3 like teenage girls. Right. I mean, they were probably like 16, 17, and they were just so into themselves. And instead of doing the finger, I did what I actually find to be much more effective, which is just the gladiator, very slow, just thumbs down. And oh boy, they got mad.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Like they were doing the honking finger, cutting me off bullshit, and the entire time I just was doing the thumbs down to them. I didn't really react with the same level of vigor that they did, but they got so mad that I disapproved of them throwing trash out onto the street. But I'm like, come on, man.
That drives me crazy.
It's crazy.
How do you fix somebody like that?
I drive them off the road.
I agree.
I have a Prius. It's not very good for that.
I just would like. I don't know.
Throw bags of garbage into their window, into their rooms.
I thought about that. The window was down, and I did have it empty cans of LaCroix. But you know, it's also hard because like it's America, and people are crazy and armed, and they like.
Yeah, I
would never know what nutbag is just gonna like lean out with a Glock, you know, and
win a court case. That like will somehow get a lawyer to be like, well, the trash was a projectile weapon,
right,
so when they
was
shot
attacking.
him 3 times, it was self-defense, and then
Right.
get off,
right,
and then you're dead, and they're, you know,
That's a good public defender if you can make that work.
yeah,
man. I don't know.
Yeah, I once in San Francisco, I was in a lane, and like construction was coming, so everyone had to merge, and this guy, this sort of asshole in a truck, came really aggressively to sort of cut me off right in front. And I was like, "Screw you, man! I'm not letting you in." He was like driving on the shoulder way past everybody, and I didn't let him in. And he got so furious. This was years ago that he drove over the cones that were separating like where you're supposed to like kind of merge. Drove over the cones, drove around in front of me, pulled his truck in front of me to cut me off like at like a T, like a perpendicular, and got out of his truck and started running at my car. And his girlfriend, who was in the passenger seat, was like, opened the door and was like, "Get back in here. Come on. What are you doing? What are you going to fight this guy?" You know, like yelling at him. And he was like rushing to my car to fight me.
Dude, what a piece of shit.
I know. And I don't know what you do with those people other than just kind of drive. I mean, first of all, I was in a car. So I'm like, if this guy really attacks me, I'm just going to run into him. Like,
Well, yeah. Like,
but like, I don't know what you do with those people.
like what, dude? How, sir? How shitty is your life right now? Like, you have to do this. Like, be an adult. Like, what are you doing?
And how shitty is her life that she's dating that guy?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know. Like, it's best just to avoid those scenarios. Again, you don't know who has a concealed weapon or whatever. Like, I don't want to shoot anybody, but in a scenario like that, like I'm gonna defend myself. If, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care who you are. Like, obviously you're in the wrong. You got out of your car. You're coming at mine.
Yeah.
Guy,
It's an assault. Potential assault. That
potential
you're
assault.
defying.
Yeah. I'll stay inside the car or whatever. But like, one time for me, I don't even know. Like, I consider myself a good driver. It's nighttime, 4:05. Just driving. All of a sudden, I see these lights flashing behind me, and the guy pulls up to the left side of me. He screamed like I've never seen a human being that angry before. He He was like an old man, not old man, but probably like in his late 40s, early 50s. Just red, fiery hair to match his anger, rolling down the window. And he's like, I'm gonna follow you to your fucking home, and I'm gonna fucking kill you for cutting me off. And I'm like, totally calm, by the way. I'm like, dude, what? Like, that wasn't me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Or and he was, I'm talking about like crazy angry. Honestly, I don't know if I did cut him off or I thought I was driving fine.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, who knows?
I don't think I cut him off, though. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty aware of that. I don't like to do that. Like, cut somebody off and go slow. Like, that's just ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there are crazy people out there.
There are. And I mean, I think really at a certain point you have to go, just do not put yourself in those situations. There's nothing to be gained from interacting with those people.
No, I'm on prime time right now. I can't afford it.
Yeah, no, you can't afford it. I mean, think how embarrassing that would be. Think how embarrassing that story would be. Be like, got in a fist fight with crazy person in the hospital, broken leg.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
It's not worth it.
No, not worth it.
Just roll up the window and then give him the...
Yeah, thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
You're fresh. That should be a t-shirt. Or the Way Highway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we get our t-shirts made. I found the thumbs down to be much more effective than the finger. It makes people much more infuriated.
This could work too.
Because it's very disapproving. It's like, you failed.
Yeah, or even maybe like one of these. Like you're just like...
The hand of disappointment. That's what my wife calls it.
I like to wag a finger.
Ooh, that's sassy.
The Matumbo.
Yep, yeah. Yep, totally.
Matumbo. I don't know what that is.
Dikembe
Matumbo used to block you and then give you one of these in your face. Like, no,
that's
you
so
can't.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
So disrespectful.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do.
Like a block shot.
Yeah,
and
block
then
shot.
No,
Yep.
No, little.
Because disdain is so much more disrespectful than anger.
Yeah, because like you don't give a shit.
Like, like, you know what? Like, come on, you're whatever.
You're a child.
Yeah.
No.
No. Anger, they feel like they've succeeded in getting to you.
Yeah.
But more just like dismissiveness is much more insulting.
I think you need the accent with it for some reason. I don't know why. Now that I did the accent, it's like no. We don't do that here.
I mean, that's Matumbo. Yeah. They gave him a commercial on Geico.
What?
They gave him a Geico commercial.
Let's see it. We're not.
That's a fifth floor problem. Not in my house.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
No. Not today.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me.
Jimmy, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars listening?
The little kid with the cereal is the best.
So I don't know if people can hear this. There was a crackhead in my alleyway.
Oh no.
Behind my apartment. I'm assuming it's a crackhead now. Literally the sound they were...
Just crackheads or are they meth heads?
I think they moved up to meth now.
Okay.
Here's what I heard, okay? When I first heard this, I literally didn't think they were on drugs. I thought, oh, cool, the devil is real, and he's inside this person. And they should be able to hear this. Hold on.
Just put it up to the microphone.
Yeah. Do you hear this?
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure they're meth heads or Scientologists?
It is for sure. Dude,
it is funny now that people have like earbuds in and stuff, because you see people just walking and talking to themselves, and it's a coin flip in LA whether or not that's just someone on the phone or a crazy person.
It really is. And the reason I brought that up, that laugh, that was a little terrifying, by the way. That reminded me of that. That's the funniest commercial in the world. They should just play that forever. Dude, gentlemen, this has been such a great time.
Yeah,
I hope you guys had a good time too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where can people find you, first of all?
They can find us in the alley behind your house, hanging out with that guy. They can find The Way Highway is at The Way Highway on Twitter, or at Way Highway on Instagram, or www.thewayhighway.com. Or if they're just on IDOBI, they can look it up on IDOBI and download the podcasts.
And when does it air? It airs right after my show.
Right after your show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific.
And then SEANCOWHIG is how you spell my name. And
Wow, that's fast.
How do you say it? Cowhig?
Cowhig, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And Justin_Ware is me on the tweets.
Yeah.
But and if they want to come see a Dr. God show at Dr. God Comedy is us.
drgodcomedy.com, and you can kind of check out some of our shorts, check out some of our past guests, and find any info on upcoming projects.
Yeah. How often do you guys do the show? Once a month?
Once a month. And we do other shows kind of around town a little bit too. We have other sort of random stuff that we do. So we end up usually playing about twice a month.
And it's been a while, but we used to travel, and we always have fun when we do. So maybe we'll come to your town, wherever you are
Awesome.
in the world.
And people can hire you for corporate gigs.
Oh, for
correct?
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do a lot of that stuff, but
hey,
we
I'm not
would.
gonna turn it down.
Well, yeah, we would.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We have a lot of corporate listeners. So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah,
I was
I was going to say.
trying to help you out.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
That's awesome, guys.
and
Thank
we
you
have
so
a new animated show coming out soon called Hellden.
Hellden, yeah.
Hellden. Oh,
Yes.
When will that be out?
It's going to. It's still TBD. We just finished. We just basically locked.
Finished, delivered, and we're just waiting for the launch of a new video on
an
demand
SVOD.
subscription, SVOD, Drink TV. So look for Drink TV.
But they're going to be carried on, a bunch of other things too, Roku and Apple TV and all that kind of stuff.
that's
I think
awesome.
so. Yeah, so it'll be, and it's funny. It's weird.
It's a weird show.
It's pretty warped.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Mr. Michael,
The outro.
let's cue that. Let's cue that good music. All right. Thank you to everybody for listening to the show. Again, iTunes issue should be fixed by now, so make sure you're resubscribed. You got all the latest episodes. Special shout out to everybody who reviewed our show lately. We got a bunch of new reviewers.
Yeah.
Who do we got again?
It's Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves, Michaela, Laura Des, T-Bear,
Ken.
Mortal Coiled, Emo Phillips. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I wish. Special shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for listening and reviewing the show. Special thanks to IDOBI Radio, Nice Guy Digital. Thank you to you, the fans. Thank you to you, Michael, for all the hard work you do. Eric, thank you as well for coming in. Steph Jula, thank you for your social media prowess. Guys, we out.
Yeah.